How's it going, everybody? This is Dragox55 here, bringing you my new Penguins Beta 2.0. The reason I call it 2.0 is because of the fact that I'm going to turn this music down a little bit because it's distracting me. But no, it's 2.0 because I'm still kind of working on it, but it's working perfectly fine right now. The problem that I have with it is it's 44 cards. The problem that I don't have with it is it doesn't do too bad in a duel. So, if any of you know, I did make a penguin deck recently in the past, and, well, with a bunch of ban lists that came, and a bunch of stuff that came, whatever, it was time to upgrade the penguins. So, yeah, here's my penguin beta 2.0. I was going to call it alpha, but then I realized alpha's before beta, I believe, right? Yeah, I think. So, anyways, so the point of this deck is to bounce back your opponent's monsters and to troll them, basically. This deck is not meant to be competitive, but it can be in many situations. There are many different ways to play penguins, but this is my personal way of doing it, because I love to be a troll. As you'll see in some videos that come after this. So, I'll start off with two Great Emperor Penguins. This card, you can summon it. It's level 5. Of course, level 5s usually aren't that great when it comes to penguins. But, yeah. You bring him out, and you contribute him due to his effect, and bring out 2 penguins. So what does that mean for you? Well, you can get Nightmare Penguin, you can get Penguin Soldier, and do not get Puny Penguin with Great Emperor Penguin. Which ones you want to get is usually these two, because you can make an level 4 XYZ, rank 4 XYZ. You can have both of these on the field that gain 200 more attack, so they'd be up to 1300, not 1500. And yeah, or you can just leave this on the field and just attack with it. I mean, 1800, it's not that bad. Don't be suspecting any great beatdown stakes in this deck, as it is penguins and it's meant to troll. 2 Warrior of Atlantis. He is a level 4, and when you discard him, just like the Gravekeeper variant of it, you can bring the field spell. So in this case, Legendary Ocean. And there you go, 2 Legendary Oceans. And we'll get into that eventually. So 2 Aqua Spirits. I don't remember correctly if in my other deck version of this, if I had 3 or 2. I might have had 3 of these, I think. But I think 2 is fine, because you can discard this, bring this out, and it's pretty good. So if you guys don't know what this does, it can't be normal or set, but you can special summon it by banishing a water from the grave, which means usually Great Emperor, Warrior of Atlantis, Snowman Eater. If this happens to hit the grave, go ahead. Puny Penguins are definitely okay. Yeah, you do not want to banish Penguin Soldiers or Nightmare Penguins. That's all I'm warning you about. And yeah, so after all that goodness, during your opponent's standby phase, you can switch their position to a different one, and they can't change it till, well, their next turn, basically. So if your opponent's monster is in attack, you can activate this effect to put it in defense, if you need it in defense, which can stop a lot of monsters from destroying you, you know, all that good stuff. While I'm looking at this extra deck, I just realized I should put one more thing in here. That's fine. So yeah, and also, you can special summon 2 of these, and make a rank 4, make rank 3, but we'll get into that more as I go through the deck. 2 Nightmare Penguins, not Snowman Eater, Nightmare Penguins. And what this card does is it gives all water monsters 200 boost. So 2000, 2100, 1800, 1100. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you get the point. So 2 of them give you a 400 point boost. And the main point of him is you're supposed to set him. And then when he gets flipped, you return one card from your opponent's side of the field to their hand. Simple enough, and then you can attack. So it's up to you. Play it smartly. If you're battling Gravekeeper, just bounce back Neko Valley. If you're battling Boxers, they usually make that XYZ that can't really be destroyed, so bounce that back. You know, all the good stuff. It's up to you to figure out what you want to bounce back in this deck. You just need to be careful, because if you don't keep in mind what you need to bounce back at certain times, you can end up losing. 2 Snowman Eaters. This card is actually pretty good. When it's flipped face up, it destroys a face up monster. Keep in mind, if this is the only monster on the field, it'll blow itself up, because it is a mandatory effect. What do I like about this? Oh, right. This is why I have them in here. Because all my monsters are aquas, if you didn't notice that already. Yep. It's a Solidarity based deck, which is pretty good. But you don't have to play it Solidarity. Solidarity just gives you the extra boost that you need to push for a game. Yeah, and he has 1900 defense. Pretty good. Better than Man-Eater Bug in so many ways. Alrighty, 1 Swap Frog. I couldn't make room for 2. Unless I won like a 45 card deck, which I really didn't want that. I like 20 monsters. It's pretty good. So anyways, what I care to do with this, we can discard 1 and special summon him. I don't really care about that effect too much. And I don't even care about the part where you can send Aqua to the grave. What I do care about, however, is the ability to bounce something back to your hand. What does it mean for you is that you can activate his effect. Bounce back Snowman Eater, set him back face down. Bounce back Nightmare Penguin, set him face down. If you forgot to return Penguin Soldier, or you needed Penguin Soldier to do something else, to get rid of 2 monsters on your opponent's side of the field, bounce him back. If you really want to, you can bounce back Swap Frog too, because, well, he's only in there to bounce these stuff back. You know how insane this is? You'll see in the video how insane a Swap Frog can be. Oh boy, how I just troll someone with Snowman Eater and Swap Frog. It is ridiculous what happened there. Oh boy, it is by far one of the best things ever, especially Nightmare Penguin, because you can do Swap Frog, bounce back Nightmare Penguin after you attack, set back Nightmare Penguin, your opponent summons, you flip over Nightmare Penguin, bounce their monster back and attack, bounce back Nightmare Penguin, set Nightmare Penguin. It's so ridiculous. Oh boy. If you don't believe me, try this deck out, and you'll see how good Swap Frog is. Alright, let's go on to the next thing. I'm so excited about this deck. 2 Penguin Soldiers. Oh yeah, the only reason we're running 2 of each Penguin except for Puny is because, 1, there's not enough room, I don't think, and also I don't want to dead draw into like too many of these. Well, maybe I could fit in another Penguin Soldier. I think the Penguin Soldiers aren't bad, but I like to grab other things in my deck, so 2 Nightmare, 2 Penguin Soldiers are fine. Sorry about that. People that don't know what Penguin Soldier does is when he's flipped face up, basically. You can target 2 monsters on the field and return them. What most people do with this card is they bounce back Penguin Soldier and bounce back the opponent's monsters. Set Penguin Soldier, and they keep repeating that until your opponent decks out, or you draw into something you need. Me, I do it because, well, as a Penguin deck, the basis is to bounce stuff back and basically lock my opponent down. It's pretty funny. Keep in mind, if you do happen to flip this and target 2 of your opponent's monsters, try to get into Swap Frog, Book of Eclipse, Book of Moon, Wind Up Zen Master, something like that, so you can get this back face down or in your hand, because he's not really going to do too much in attack mode unless you're clearing out the field and then you're attacking. So yeah, I just want him in there because he bounces stuff back. It's hilarious. 2 Flip-Flop Frogs. Now, something to keep in mind the penguins do target, but the flip-flop frog doesn't. How did I figure this out? Well, one, I didn't read the card. Two, I flipped it and I could target this, or bounce back slacker, which prevents it from being targeted, but since flip-flop doesn't target, it bounces it back. So, for people that don't know, you can set this, and then you flip it over, bounce something back, and then return it face down. Even if your opponent attacks it, you can still bounce their monster back. This card is obscenely broken, but, you know, there's reasons why it's not as broken as most cards in the game. And since it's not even limited, I am allowed to use Flip-Flop Frog as I please. And three puny penguins. What this card does is, which I forgot to mention this in the video, has like, how many views is that? 426, right? Jeez Louise, that's so much. Oh boy. Anyways, I don't mean to brag there, but jeez Louise, that's like my most watched video. Right. So what this card does is kind of like Sphere Credent. You set this, and then when it's flipped face up, either by getting attacked, you flip it face up, whatever. It has the ability that if it's sent to the grave, you can target a penguin in your grave and special summon it and face up attack or face down defense. Now in this deck, the whole point is to put Nightmare Penguins face down defense, or you want to put Penguin Soldier in defense. It's basically Monster Reborn, except it's like Monster Reborn and Shallow Grave put together, which is really good. The only reason I say it's like Shallow Grave is that the fact that, well, it's Monster Reborn with Shallow Grave, because it's the fact that Monster Reborn lets you bring back one monster, and your opponent can't bring back a monster. So that's the Monster Reborn part, and face up attack, whatever. And Shallow Grave makes it so you can set the card, but your opponent's still not getting a card. Simple enough, right? You'll get used to this card as you go along. You'll usually set this after you have some penguins in the grave. Maybe swap frog, throw a penguin in the grave to set this to get a penguin. If you want to, you can set it, bring back Great Emperor Tribute, get 2 of these, whatever you feel like. This deck is for you to imagine and do what you want to, just to troll your opponent. You can take out 4 cards if you want to. I mean, there's plenty of things you probably take out, like maybe Warning, Solidarity, whatever. We'll get into that later. This card is actually pretty new from what I remember. It's not a new card, but it's new to me. I've been using this in Penguins recently, and it has an 1800 defense, surprisingly. So that means if I have Legendary Ocean, 2000 defense. So what does that mean? What does this card do? What does it mean? Well, one thing, if this card is on the field, you cannot bring out Great Emperor Penguin. Not that you really care, because that's not your main purpose of the deck. Unless if whatever. So what this does is it shuts down most XYZs. I'm not kidding. You bring this out, you have penguins, your opponent's gonna be stuck, because most people nowadays need to XYZ to use their deck. Evil Swarms, Constellars, Balanced Boxers, Light Swarms need Judge and Dragon. Of course, they're gonna use Lilas, get over stuff. But you know, Judge and Dragons, Dark Armed, Blackluster Soldier, Chaos Sorcerer, you name it, it's not going to be special summoned, because 1800 or more attack, your opponent's not going to do too much. Well, there is Gaga Cowboy that gets under this, which is pretty annoying, but I really haven't seen too many things that really can deal with this card. I mean, there's plenty of things, probably. Like Hunters maybe can deal with this. But there's not This deck basically will shut down your opponent really well. 1 day apiece. I don't know if this card... I don't remember if this card gets banned in January, but if it doesn't, then go ahead and use it. If it does, well, 43 cards. So what you do is you attack, and then you activate this. Now, you don't take effect, and you don't take battle damage. And neither does your opponent when you activate this card. So you attack, your opponent takes the damage, you activate 1 day apiece, you both draw 1 card, which is usually a bad thing, but you take no damage. Basically, Waboku. Which you put Waboku in this deck, but hey, I really don't want to put it in here for many reasons. You put it in here instead of dimensional, I guess, but whatever. So yeah, basically job power. Lightning Vortex, discard 1 and destroy face-up stuff on the field. I don't remember if this was in the other deck, but it's not too bad. Yeah, it's pretty much not too bad. Swords of Revealing Light, stall for 3 turns, a definite good thing. 2 pod 2. Why can't I not speak today? 2 pod dualities. You reveal the top 3 and you add 1 card from your deck to your hand. That was out of those 3. So, the downside is you can't special summon. Is that really a downside? Not really. The only cards I can special summon is Great Emperor's Effect, Aqua Spirit, and Swap Frog. That's like what, 1, 3, 5 cards that allow you to special summon. Not including XYZs, of course. So, I mean, it's not really like you care about that because you're bouncing stuff back and keeping your opponent locked down until you get what you need. Your opponent's not going to appreciate it. Also, the funny thing, if you keep bouncing back your opponent's monsters and they get up to 7 cards in their hand, they have to discard because the maximum card limit that you're allowed to have in your hand is 6 cards. So, it's so funny to watch your opponent just discard cards and they don't really appreciate it. There are cards where if something's bounced back to the hand, banish it, whatever. But the problem is with using that card is that if I'm bouncing something back to my hand, I don't want to have it banished. Because I'd rather be able to use it over and over. So, also the funny thing about duality is the backside of greed, apparently. We have 1 Book of Moon. You activate it to set stuff, Snowman, Nightmare, Penguin Soldier, whatever you want to, or your opponent's monsters, any way you want to do it. 3 Book of Eclipse, maybe you can do with 2. What it does is when you activate it, all face-up monsters go to face-down defense position. And your opponent's monsters will flip over at the end phase, and your opponent draws for each card. Which is pretty funny, because if you do it during their turn, and then they have like 5 monsters, they draw 5 cards. Then they'll have 7 or more cards, and they would have to discard. If you have cards like Heavy Slump, or something like that, it will totally annihilate their hand. But we're not doing Heavy Slump, Book of Eclipse, discard thing, whatever. So yeah, Nightmare Penguins, love it. Snowman Eater, love it. And Penguin Soldiers, love it. Yeah, you see a common theme. Snowman Eaters, Nightmare Penguins, Flip-Flops, Penguin Soldiers, Puny Penguins. Those are the main things that you're going to be dealing with in your deck. Also, you want this face up at all times, just to lock down your opponent a little bit more. This also stops Plasma. I forgot to mention that. 2 level limit area Bs. Not too useful. It does help though, because if this is out on the field, then your opponent's going to be summoning level 4s, and this will put them in defense so they can't attack you and you can do what you please. Of course, you would notice right away that Nightmare, Aqua, whatever are all like level 4s and higher, but we'll get into that eventually. Yeah, so level limit area B. 2 messenger apiece. Oh yeah, another thing if they XYZ, keep in mind that they're ranks. The black cards are rank. White cards are synchro, which are still level. Purple are still level. Blues are still level, but the black ones are rank. I don't know why, but whatever, it works. So yeah, keep that in mind. 2 messenger apiece. This is the main thing I use to stop XYZs, since there isn't like XYZ bind or something. Maybe there is a card, but I haven't found it yet. So basically you use this, 1500 or more attack can't attack, and you pay 100 during each of your standby phase. It doesn't really hurt you too much. It does hurt your opponent, because, well, let's think about it real quick. Well, Scrap Dragon doesn't care about this, but Stardust, Red Dragon, Ballant Boxer, whatever. Judging Dragon will just blow this up, so it really doesn't matter to him. I don't know. That's a lot of things. 2 solidarities. I've gone over this plenty of times, but originally printed stuff, which is Aqua in this deck. Another thing to note, try not to XYZ, because there is a total of 2, 3 monsters in there that are Aquas. I had like 12, but those weren't really good ones. So keep in mind that if you need to XYZ, make sure that it doesn't affect you too much if you're going to be using Solidarity. If you think you want to XYZ against something, take out Solidarity and switch it in for like MST, Salvage, whatever. So yeah, and everything gains 800. So 1600 boost, plus the 400 boost from this, plus the 200 boost from this, brings you to a grand total of 2200. Right? 2200 attack. You know how ridiculous that is? I just realized something. I should probably add Giga Brilliant, but whatever. But 2200 more attack. That is obscene how much that is. That is 2200, of course. But that is really obscene how much attack that is. For any Aquas, not for anything else. If you don't believe that's obscene, play this deck and then you'll see how obscene that can be. That's saying 3200. This gets over Blue Eyes. This gets over Blue Eyes. This... No, this doesn't get over Blue Eyes. This even... No, that doesn't get over Blue Eyes. This gets over some stuff. It's pretty funny when you use that to beat something down. I don't know. That's just obscene, though. Alright, here's where the main thing comes in with level limit and gravity bind. Legendary Ocean. Each of your monsters gain 200. This card is treated as Yumi, but that doesn't mean anything to you in this deck. And all your monsters are reduced to by 1 level, which means you can make rank 3 exceeds, rank 2 exceeds, rank 1 exceeds, rank 4s with this, or 5s, which I don't have any 5s in here. But you could summon this with 1 less tribute, which is 0 tributes. You could summon this, bring out 2 Nightmare Penguins, and do as you please. That's why I don't care about running 2 of these, because I'm not hurting myself in the least. So yeah, 200 attack and defense. Keep this in defense most of the time, unless if you have like the boosts up on the field. 2000 defense, not really too easy to get over, especially since they can't special summon 1800 or more attack monsters. And with level limit and messenger apiece, it's gonna be even harder for them to get rid of this card. They'll usually try to go after this card first because they want XYZ. That's where you get them. It's so funny with this deck because most people don't know how to counteract this deck. They think they know because they'll get rid of like this. But, I mean, they'll get rid of this, maybe this, you know, but they don't know how to counteract the deck because his deck is not well played, or not a often played deck like many other decks. For example, like Evil Storm. Okay, you're gonna make Ophion. You're gonna make Foulnex and Catast. What the heck are they called? Ah, great. I don't remember what they're called. Set. Fudge. Oh, Constellars. Yeah. I mean, how are you gonna? You can't really tell me that. Oh, you can look at that. You can't really tell me that. Oh, I know how to play against this deck. If you played against this deck randomly out of nowhere, you would not know how to play against this deck because no one plays penguins other than like some that play with bunnies, rabbit, whatever, the flying penguin variant. That's why this deck is so hard to get around because, well, yeah. I mean, I can't brag about this deck any more than that. 1 Mirror Force, destroy stuff. 2-dimensional prison, banish stuff, which is more useful than Mirror Force or armor, whatever. Sarwisca armor. I don't know if there's any better cards than this, but whatever. 1 Capals, bounce something back. If there was 2, I would be playing 2. You guys know me that well. I would be playing 2. Where's the Bottomless? Well, Bottomless still destroys, so I don't like it at all in this deck. Why don't I like it? Because Stardust can negate it, and I don't want to deal with Stardust when it comes... Well, I don't really care about Stardust, but I don't want to deal with Stardust. Let's just put it that. Or anything that can prevent destruction, like Zen Mains, which you don't want to deal with Zen Mains either. Which is why I chose Solemn Warning, where it can negate the summon, even though you pay 2,000. You still would negate their summon, the spell that summons, whatever. If Judgment was unbanned, I would still not run that. Dark Bribes are not in here because there's not really anything I need to negate. With Heavy Storm gone, True Nade gone, there's really just MSTs and Spotlight, Nightlight, Searchlight, I don't know what it's called. There's not really too much I'm worried about. The worst that can happen is Malevolent Catastrophe, but, you know, not much people are running it. Trap Stun is a thing too. Well, decrease, but you see I'm running 7 traps. And the one trap I'm mainly going to use is the next one, which is Gravity Bind. And Trap Stun doesn't even stop Solemn Warning. Because it's a counter trap, so there's not really anything I need to negate. Of course someone's going to tell me I'm wrong, but whatever. It's just my opinion, you know. Double Gravity Bind blocks level 4s from attacking and anything higher. 2 Snowdust Giants. You reveal water type monsters in your hand, which your whole deck is 20 water monsters, and you put ice counters on non-water, or no, you put ice counters on monsters, and non-water monsters lose 200 attack for each ice counter. The maximum ones you would have is probably 6. 6 ice counters is equal to 200 decrease, which is 1200 decrease of attack. Is that good? Up to you to decide, but keep in mind he's a beast warrior, so if you're trying to focus on doing solidarity, don't summon him out. Now the next one, go ahead. It is number 101, Silent Honor Arc Knight. And what he does is you detach 2 and target 1 face up, attack position, special summon monster. XYZs basically, and Synchros. And if you would be destroyed, you can detach an XYZ material, which means Mirror Force won't take him down, and all that good stuff. Oh yeah, it becomes an XYZ material to this card, the one that you take. So you detach 2. You take Scrap Dragon, you put it on the back row. You attack. Your opponent activates Mirror Force. Mirror Force would activate. You can detach 1, which is that Scrap Dragon, and you just blocked Mirror Force. And you still have a 2,100 attack point monster. And with all these boosts, 2,200 more boost, you have a 4,300 attack point monster. You cannot tell me that that is not super great. Of course, I don't really XYZ too much. This is for people that want to XYZ as much as they want to. The one I would usually XYZ for, other than this, would be this card. He gains 300 for each XYZ material he has. You can detach 1 to target a face-up monster that you control and turn it face down. And during end phase, it flips it back to attack mode. And yes, before you ask, they do get their effect. So this would get its effect, this would get its effect, this would get its effect, this would get its effect. Whatever you feel like. So this card is definitely superior to most cards when it comes to XYZs, when it comes to penguins. To Digesto Emerald, I could probably switch one of these out for another thing. But you XYZ in a 2 and he's basically Avarice. And I don't run any non-effect monsters, so most people run this for Blue Eyes. I don't need this for anything other than returning 3 and drawing 1. 1 Levier. Yeah, as I said, this deck isn't really... This is just if you need it for whatever. You detach 1, bring back level 4 lower monster from the remove from play. Which is a lot of things you can do. I could have made a Cataster if I had it, but I'm not playing Synchros because I don't really go on my side deck or extra deck too much. 2 wind-up Zen mains. You can protect itself by detaching 1, and at the end phase, if it does protect itself from being destroyed, you can destroy 1 card your opponent controls. 2 Gachi Gachi, and this is where it gets even more obscene because you can make 2 of these, and then you can go 400 points for each more. So it's 800, 1200, 2,800, 3,000 more attack. I don't know if that's good enough for you guys, but that's definitely good enough for me. As I said, try not to XYZ because you have to be careful about the solidarities if you need their boost. But 3,000 more attack. You can't get... I don't know how you can get any better than that. I mean, you probably get better if you did limit removal, but I don't know if you want to do that. Dark Mist... gosh darn it. You can play 3 and it could be 3,400 more attack. That's ridiculous. And then you play another one of solidarities. Oh my gosh. 3,400, 4,200 more attack if you guys are curious. That's obscene. That's stronger than Obelisk. And that thing's obscenely strong. Right. Okay, back to the deck. So you detach 1 to gain your... I'm just going to read the effect because I don't really know this card too well. Once per turn, during either player's turn, when an attack is declared involving this card and an opponent's monster, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card, half the attack of the opponent's monster, and this card gains the same amount of attack. Yeah, pretty much. It's just in there for, you can take it out. I don't really care for the card. You're really never going to make this card. I can reassure you. But it's in there for people that need it. There's also Digesto Phoenix, I think it is. I don't run wind-based stuff, so I don't have it in there. Oh, that's not Slacker Magician. Oh, it is Slacker Magician. Let's see. So, apparently, it can't be destroyed up to once per turn. And during either player's turn, when a card effect is activated that targets this face-up card, you can detach one and negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. One thing about that card, you can make it with... Are you serious? Oh, this video is going on too long. So, yeah, what it is 2 puny penguins, or swap frog with legendary ocean, whatever. If you end up running into one of these, use flip flop, it gets rid of it. As simple as that. Or maybe you want to book or eclipse it and then penguin soldier it. You can do that too. Also, that gets rid of if you battle Ab-Zeros, just book a moon it and penguin soldier it or whatever. Because since Ab-Zero wouldn't be face up, it doesn't get its effect. So, if you guys are curious. 2 barrier statue of Torrent. Yeah, no one can special summon anything except for water. And since you're playing a water-based deck, you get the idea. The reason it's not in the main deck is because, well, let's face it, it's not really that strong an attack. Neither is this, but at least it has 800 more defense. 1 Grand Mole, bounce back before the damage step. You know why that's in there. Another Swap Frog if you need it. 2 Moray Agreed. You shuffle 2 waters and draw 3 cards. Pretty good. If you want, you can take out Duality. I might end up doing that eventually one of these days. You know, I'll do a video. See which one works better, Duality or Moray Agreed. I think Duality works better because you can get spells and whatever. I don't know. Dark Hole, if you don't like Lightning Vortex, just destroys everything on the field, and that's why it's not in the main deck. Salvage, you return 2 water monsters with 1500 less attack from your graveyard to your hand. I'm not sure why I don't run it, but there's not enough room for it anyways. 2 MSTs, it destroys the back row. 1 Torrential Tribute, destroys something when it's summoned. Breakthrough skills, I don't want to run Veilers because of the fact of Solidarity, so we'll use breakthrough skills to negate effects. And Spiritual Art, you bounce a card back to your opponent's hand, and you activate this card to tribute your monster to target that card and get rid of it. Simple as that. Now, as I said, there's many cards, many texts that you can put into this. As I said, this is my version, this is my trolley version of it, and this will troll your opponent really badly. And as I said, it's beta 2.0, it's not like mega ultra complete penguins, because it does have its flaws, but we won't talk about them because I don't want people knowing the flaws. So yeah. Go ahead and leave your comments in the section down below and tell me what you thought of this deck. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What would you change about it? What would you not change about it? And I feel like I'm going to get a bunch of comments saying, well, I play Mind Rescue Rabbit and I run Flying Penguin. You know, it's good for you guys. I'm glad if people run it. I need to see one more thing. Surface... No, that's horrible. I don't like that. Well, it's not horrible because you can get this, right? Yeah, you can get this. It's pretty good for that, but I don't really care to do it for only that. Huh. And what's the other thing I was gonna look at? Oh, right. And here's all the other penguins. Flying Penguin. He's normal, but you can do Bunny Rabbit. And you can get rank 5s, whatever, rank 4s, Guard Penguin. If you're going to take damage, you can use him. Penguin Knight, sent from the deck to the grave by an opponent's card effect. You shuffle it back, and yeah, you can tell it's not a really great art type, but it does its business. Water, spell. Where is it? Field. Right. Is it this one? Yes, it's this one. Okay. So this card's name is treated as Yumi. It gains 200 attack once per turn during your main phase. You can have all your monsters currently control gain to equal to the number of water monsters you currently control until the end phase. And this is the other card. This and is it aqua or is this fish? All level 2 or lower aquas. Should work with that. That'd be obscene. But right. So this is if you want more stronger XYZs than what I have here. And this is if you need more attack boost, which that is 2,500 or whatever you feel like doing. So yeah, I already did the exit outro, so I'll catch you guys later. This is Dragox55 signing up.